another route rather than the norms that has already been presented. Now, moving straight up to research objectives, right? What research objectives? Don't forget, we have already explained research aim when we read that when we read the Microsoft Word document, on voters, right? So, where a research aim specifies what your study will answer, research objectives specify how your study will answer it, right? They divide your research aim into several smaller parts, each of which represent a key section of your research project. So that's what research objective does. It divides your research aim into smaller parts, because primarily your research aim is always broad. It's always a broad concept. And so you can, if you not actually break it down into objectives, right, you find out that your aim, you can just be moving around the bush and you have not actually achieved the aim. But that research objective will just, there's how to just contextualize your research, narrow it down to smaller parts and help you to provide answer to that aim of the study, right? Okay. Now there are some verbs we use in, research objectives and aims, right? Some verbs. Now, if you have seen some research publication or past works before, you find out that they're using words like to review. Okay, someone is saying something here. I'm coming. Okay. Melissa, okay, man. Okay, I've been asking questions. Sorry, I've not been seeing your questions. Are we respond to them either on this call or on the WhatsApp, channel? Sorry about that. I just saw it now. All right. So, the verbs using aims and objectives, research aims and objectives include to review, right? That is to review, identify, explore, discover, discuss, summarize. This is just to help understanding, right? Understanding, organizing the information. Then we also have applying, right? Solving problems using information. So we can have research objectives that have to interpret, to apply, to demonstrate, to establish. Right? Okay, sorry. So I'll just go back to that Microsoft Word document again. All right, and let's see something. Just hold on, please. Now, look at a typical example of a research aim. Now, let's say we have to examine how road infrastructure and public transportation affect travel efficiency in Nigeria, right? Now, look at the research objectives. Now, to analyze the impact of road conditions on travel time and commuter delays in Nigerian cities, to assess how the availability and reliability of public transportation influence commuter efficiency. Now you see that the research aim is actually so broad, to examine how road infrastructure and public transportation affect travel efficiency in Nigeria. This is actually a broad concept. But now this research objectives here will just help us narrow down this study here to this. So for we to achieve this aim now, we just have to go to the route of analyzing the impact of road condition, right, on travel time and commuter delays in Nigerian cities. Now, the other one we can see is to assess how availability and reliability of public transportation influence commuter efficiency. You see that we are using these verbs here. These are the verbs that we use. If you are not using all these verbs here, you are actually not stating your research objectives well, right? Now, to evaluate the role of broad expansion and traffic management policies in improving transportation flow. Now I'm going to remind us again that we are going to be having a quiz session, right? And I would love us to pay so much attention, Now, sorry, I'm coming. we found out that we have actually typically used the research verbs, right? So I've used research verbs. Just hold on. We have used research verbs to actually, tailor down our objective, just like the one I just showed to us now, right? Then moving on to research questions. Now, research questions now summarize the main inquiry for which data was or will be collected to address the problem. Now, the beautiful part about this is that your research objectives, right, can be reframed into research questions. So most journals now, or most, let's say academic writings, they prefer people to use research question other than research objectives. But regardless, some of them want both of them. So we can actually reframe our research objective into research question. Let's say an example here. Let's say an example here. So we have to analyze the impact of road condition on travel time and commuter delays in Nigerian cities. Now look at the research question here. How do road conditions affect travel time and commuter delay in Nigerian cities? Right? You find out that they are not so different. I've got to a situation where now, when someone maybe sometimes we do what's it called, academic assistance and research writing, and then some people tailor down their research work. Okay, you want to analyze your data, and then your research objective is so different from your research question. Then giving the statisticians a lot of work to, what are you trying to do? Because your research objective should not be different, from research question in terms of, understanding, right? We understand that the letter is a question, right? You must have a question mark because you're asking question and you're seeking answers, right? But they should not actually imply this different thing, right? So you see a lot of people forming the research objective and it's different. It does not even have any thread related to the research question. And that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. If you're actually carrying out a study, research objective and research questions are thread that they must follow each other, right? They must follow each other.